Welcome back, dragon enthusiasts, to In Aegon's Name. Today we delve into the heart of the Dance of the Dragons, a conflict that ripped Westeros asunder. We're talking about the woman behind the Green Curtain, the Queen Regent herself, Alicent Hightower. Was she a master manipulator, a woman scorned, or a pawn in a larger game? Alicent's story is a tapestry woven with ambition, loyalty, and tragedy. She was thrust into the center of a power struggle that consumed the realm. Her every action had consequences that reverberated through generations. But were her choices her own, or was she a puppet dancing to the strings of fate? Alicent's journey is inseparable from the Dance of the Dragons. To understand her is to understand the seeds of this catastrophic war. Join us as we dissect the choices, the pressures, and the betrayals that led to the fiery demise of dragons and the plunging of Westeros into chaos. Alicent Hightower's path was not always destined for conflict. She entered the Red Keep as a young woman, handmaiden to the aging Queen Aemma. Her beauty and grace captivated the recently widowed King Viserys I, who chose her as his bride, setting off a chain reaction that would have devastating consequences. This marriage, while seemingly a fairy tale, planted the first seeds of discord. Alicent bore Viserys several children, including Aegon II, who would become the focal point of her ambitions. The king's firstborn, Rhaenyra Targaryen, remained his chosen heir, but the arrival of Alicent's sons ignited a simmering rivalry. Court whispers turned to open animosity as factions formed around the two claimants to the Iron Throne. Alicent, once a quiet presence in the Red Keep, found herself thrust into the center of a power struggle, her every action scrutinized, her every word weaponized. The stage was set for a dance of ambition, betrayal, and bloodshed. Alicent's influence over King Viserys I was undeniable. She possessed a keen understanding of his weaknesses, his desire for peace and harmony, and she used it to her advantage. While Viserys sought to maintain a fragile balance, Alicent subtly steered him towards decisions that benefited her own bloodline. Her power stemmed not from brute force, but from her position as confidant and advisor. She was the voice he trusted, the shoulder he leaned on as the weight of the realm pressed down. In the quiet moments, away from the clamor of the court, Alicent's words held sway. This influence, however, was a double-edged sword. While it allowed her to secure advantages for her sons, it also painted a target on her back. Those who supported Rhaenyra's claim saw Alicent's hand in every decision that seemed to undermine the princess's position, fueling the resentment that simmered beneath the surface. As Alicent's sons grew older, so too did the whispers of usurpation. The line of succession, once considered settled, became a point of contention that threatened to tear the realm apart. Alicent found herself at the heart of this brewing storm, her every action scrutinized for signs of treachery. Her supporters, known as the Greens, saw her as a protector of tradition, a champion for the rightful heir. They argued that a male heir, born of the king's second wife, took precedence over a daughter from a previous marriage. The laws of succession, however, were ambiguous at best, open to interpretation and manipulation. Alicent's detractors, the Blacks, accused her of plotting to steal the throne for her son. They pointed to her influence over Viserys, her subtle maneuvering within the court, as evidence of her ambition. The seeds of doubt, once sown, took root and flourished in the fertile ground of suspicion and fear. It is impossible to separate Alicent's actions from her love for her children. Like any mother, she desired greatness for her sons, a future where they were safe, powerful, and respected. But in the cutthroat world of Westerosi politics, ambition and love could be a dangerous cocktail. Alicent's detractors argued that her love for her sons blinded her to the needs of the realm. They saw her actions as selfish, a betrayal of the oaths she swore as queen. Her supporters, however, maintained that she was merely protecting her own, ensuring their survival in a world where power was a matter of life and death. The truth likely lay somewhere in between. Alicent was a complex woman, driven by a mother's love, but also by a keen awareness of the dangers her children faced. She knew that if Rhaenyra ascended the Iron Throne, her sons would be vulnerable, their claims dismissed, their lives potentially forfeit. With Viserys' health declining, the question of succession loomed large over the realm. Alicent, once content to operate from the shadows, found herself thrust into the forefront of the conflict. The green dragon, a symbol of her house and her ambition, unfurled its wings. When Viserys breathed his last, the fragile peace he had so desperately maintained shattered. Alicent, fearing for her sons' lives, acted swiftly and decisively. She concealed the king's death, rallied her allies, and crowned Aegon II as the rightful heir. This act, born out of fear and a desire to protect her own, ignited the fires of war. The dance of the dragons had begun, and Alicent, whether she intended to or not, had become one of its primary architects. The realm would pay a terrible price for her actions, a price measured in fire, blood, and the shattered dreams of a dynasty. To truly understand Alicent's role in the dance of the dragons, we must examine the forces that shaped her, the whispers that guided her hand. Chief among these was her father, Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King. Otto was a shrewd and ambitious man, deeply enmeshed in the Game of Thrones. From a young age, Alicent was privy to her father's machinations, his calculated moves and countermoves in the deadly game of courtly intrigue. She witnessed firsthand the power of influence, the way a well-placed word or a subtle suggestion could sway the king's favor. Otto understood the precariousness of their position. As newcomers to the Red Keep, their hold on power was tenuous. He instilled in Alicent the importance of securing their family's future, of ensuring that their bloodline thrived in the cutthroat world of Westerosi politics. Some argue that Alicent was but a pawn in her father's grand design. Otto, they say, recognized the potential for conflict in the king's divided succession. He saw in Alicent a means to advance his own ambitions, to place his blood on the Iron Throne. Did Otto manipulate his daughter, using her as a tool to achieve his own ends? Or did Alicent, schooled in the ways of the court by her father's side, develop her own ambitions, her own desire for power? The truth, as is often the case, is likely a tangled web of influence and agency. Alicent was not a mindless puppet. She possessed a sharp intellect and a strong will of her own, yet it is undeniable that her father's influence loomed large over her life, shaping her perceptions and guiding her actions. Beyond her father's influence, Alicent also bore the weight of tradition. Westerosi society, steeped in patriarchal norms, favored male heirs. While Rhaenyra was the king's named heir, her claim was viewed with suspicion by many, seen as a break from the established order. Alicent, as the mother of sons, represented the continuation of the Targaryen dynasty through a more traditional lens. She became a figurehead for those who believed that the Iron Throne should pass to a male heir, regardless of birth order. The pressure to conform to these societal expectations must have been immense. Alicent was not just fighting for her sons' futures. She was fighting against centuries of ingrained beliefs about gender and power. Alicent Hightower's legacy is a complex and often contradictory one. She was a devoted mother, a cunning political player, and a pawn in a game larger than herself. Her actions, driven by a mixture of love, ambition, and societal pressure, had a profound impact on the course of Westerosi history. Was she a villain, a victim, or simply a woman trying to navigate the treacherous waters of courtly intrigue? The answer, like most things in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire, is rarely simple. One thing is certain. Alicent's story is a cautionary tale about the corrupting influence of power, the devastating consequences of unchecked ambition, and the enduring strength of a mother's love. Her legacy, forged in the fires of the Dance of the Dragons, serves as a reminder that even the best intentions can pave the road to hell. The Dance of the Dragons was not solely a clash of personalities, a battle of ambition between a queen and her stepdaughter. It was a symptom of a deeper sickness within the realm. The seeds of conflict had been sown long before Alicent Hightower set foot in the Red Keep. Their dragons, those magnificent beasts of fire and blood, had ensured their dominance. The Dance of the Dragons exposed these fault lines, tearing the realm asunder. Power, it is said, corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The Iron Throne, forged from the swords of Aegon the Conqueror's enemies, was more than just a seat of power. It was a symbol of ambition, a lightning rod for envy and desire. Those who sat upon it, even those with the best of intentions, found themselves warped by its influence. They were forced to make impossible choices, to sacrifice love and loyalty on the altar of stability. The Iron Throne demanded a heavy price, one that often came due in blood. Alicent Hightower, like so many before her, was caught in the Iron Throne's shadow. Her actions, however well-intentioned, were inevitably tainted by the pursuit of power, by the desire to secure her family's place in this deadly game. Some believe that the Dance of the Dragons was not merely a product of political maneuvering or personal ambition, but rather the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy. The doom of Valyria, the cataclysmic event that had shattered the Targaryen homeland centuries earlier, had cast a long shadow over their dynasty. Whispers of a prophecy, passed down through generations, spoke of a time when the dragons would dance again, when fire and blood would consume the realm. Was the Dance of the Dragons the inevitable culmination of this prophecy, a destiny that even Alicent Hightower, with all her cunning and influence, could not escape? The prophecy, if it existed at all, was shrouded in mystery and open to interpretation, but it served as a reminder that the Targaryens, for all their power, were not immune to fate. They, like all mortals, were bound to the wheel of time, their destinies shaped by forces beyond their control. The Dragon Rider's dilemma, Rhaenyra's claim and its cost. Rhaenyra Targaryen, the realm's delight, was never destined for an easy path. Born with dragon's blood in her veins and a claim to the Iron Throne, she was both blessed and cursed from the start. Her right to rule, while undisputed by her father, was met with resistance from a society deeply entrenched in patriarchal traditions. Rhaenyra, however, was not one to be easily swayed. She embraced her Targaryen heritage, claiming her dragon, Syrax, and asserting her place in the line of succession. Yet, her very existence challenged the status quo, igniting a firestorm of controversy that would consume the realm. Her claim, though legitimate, came at a steep price. She was forced to navigate a court rife with intrigue, where every whisper held the potential for betrayal. Her every action was scrutinized, her every word twisted to fit the narratives of those who sought to undermine her position. Section 2, the Kingmaker's Gambit, Otto Hightower, and the Seeds of Discord. Otto Hightower, Hand of the King and Alicent's father, was a master player in the Game of Thrones. His ambition, however, extended beyond simply serving his king. He sought to secure his own bloodline's place at the pinnacle of power. When Viserys I chose Alicent as his bride, Otto saw an opportunity. He recognized the potential for his grandsons to inherit the Iron Throne, to fulfill his own ambitions through his daughter's children. His influence over Alicent, subtle yet persistent, steered her towards decisions that would ultimately benefit their house. Otto's machinations, however, had far-reaching consequences. His whispers of discontent, his subtle manipulations of courtly affairs, fanned the flames of division within the realm. He sowed the seeds of doubt and distrust that would eventually blossom into the Dance of the Dragons. Viserys I and the Weight of Choices. Viserys I, king of the Andals, the Rhaenyra and the First Men, was haunted by his legacy. His choices, driven by a desire to please everyone, sowed discord. Marrying Alicent Hightower upset the balance of power. It created a rival faction, challenging his daughter's claim. His reluctance to confront divisions only worsened tensions caught between love for his children and duty to his realm. By his final breath, war was ready to erupt, consuming his kingdom. The price of power. Alicent Hightower's journey is a tale of ambition, love, and the heavy price of power. She entered the Red Keep, a young woman, thrust into a world of intrigue and danger. Her marriage to Viserys set in motion events with devastating consequences. Did Alicent seek to usurp the Iron Throne for her son? Or was she driven by a mother's love, protecting her children from danger? The answer is shrouded in shades of grey. Alicent's story reminds us that the pursuit of power can corrupt even the purest of hearts. Section 2, A Dance Remembered. The Dance of the Dragons, a conflict fueled by ambition and betrayal, left an indelible mark on Westeros. Dragons, once symbols of Targaryen might, were decimated in a maelstrom of violence. Alicent Hightower's role in this conflict is undeniable. Her actions fanned the flames of war, she played a dangerous game, and the consequences were dire. Her story serves as a cautionary tale. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on House of the Dragon.